This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, North Shore Community College, Leo Inc., and Brotherhood Credit Union.
Hello and welcome back to LCTV News. Advocacy took center stage in both headlines and lowdowns this week, specifically for veterans. Lynn teams continue to advance in the playoffs, getting one step closer to that championship. Find out about all this and more in this week's edition of the news for Friday, March 8th, 2024. The Lynn VA Clinic is here to stay, as EDIC received a signed 3-year lease with an option for a 3-year renewal from the Veterans Administration on March 1st. The clinic was recommended for closure in March of 2022, leading to extensive protests by veterans and advocates alike to keep the VA in Lynn, a site that serves more than 2,000 veterans. This led to EDIC buying the building last year for $3.65 million, with the primary reasoning being to keep the VA where it was. Mission accomplished, as 2 years later, an agreement has been reached on the Boston Street property. According to EDIC Director Jim Cowdell, quote, "This building was EDIC's biggest purchase ever, and it is gratifying to see the plan come together. We understand how critical it is for our veterans to be able to access the services that this clinic offers." Here's more of what Veteran Services Director Mike Sweeney had to say.
My name is Mike Sweeney. I'm the Director of Veteran Services for the Lynn Swampscott Department of Veteran Services, and I'm here to announce something we're really proud of, really excited about it, which is the sign of a 3-year lease with a possibility for more at the Lynn VA Clinic at 225 Boston Street. This is a result of a multi-year effort, not only with starting from the top, Mayor Nicholson, the City Council, our elected officials at the state, and Congressman Moulton, but importantly, a real grassroots effort to include our veterans community, the Post, Lynn Veterans Council, and Mass Senior Action. The community really came together to let the VA know that closing the Lynn VA Clinic was the wrong answer. And not only, and with that groundswell, we were really proud to see that when the building came up for sale, the City of Lynn, through the EDIC and Jim Cowdell, purchased it. So now, since then, they've worked real hard to get a lease done with the VA to extend it. So now, for the first time in a couple of years, we're really are really close to looking at having a long-term commitment to the VA down here in Lynn. And these critical services, these critical healthcare services include primary care, mental health, physical therapy, and frankly, we're looking to expand those. With the help of the EDIC, the mayor again, Mayor Nicholson, I think we can't say enough about the help from the city on this one. I think in 18 years that I've been doing this, since the VA first talked about closing this clinic, this is the best situation the City of Lynn and its veterans have been in. The 2,000 veterans who use that clinic have been in since I've been in this role, and I'm really proud, and I think it's something we can all work together. The next steps are going to be to see what the city now is looking in terms of negotiating with the VA to expand our footprint down there and possibly to expand services. I would love to, as a personal note, I'd love to see audiology or some other specialty services, as the VA calls them, be included down there on Boston Street. The numbers tell us that if people get their health care close to home, they will take advantage of it. Veterans and their families need to know that when the veteran needs to see someone, they don't have to travel long distances. So this is not just a policy issue or something that's nice or something that's added on. for people who have disabilities, transportation issues, dealing with different issues that keep them from getting to their health care. This is a godsend. So once again, just thank you to everyone involved, and stay tuned for future updates.
The city is looking for community input to develop a parking strategy that promotes a walkable, vibrant, and welcoming downtown. Lynn launched a downtown parking survey at their first public workshop on February 7th, so people can provide insight into the current parking situation, including availability of parking, more efficient use of space, and whether they believe the city is fulfilling their parking needs. This, in combination with additional data being collected, will be used to ensure the parking strategy will cover a variety of needs for residents, businesses, and visitors to the downtown area. Currently, there are just over 7,600 parking spaces downtown, 2,440 on-street, and the other 5,180 off-street. 4,000 of those off-street parts are private spots reserved for tenants. After the surveys are reviewed, there will be 2 more public meetings before a final plan is presented. Schools all across Lynn participated in Read Across America, welcoming volunteer readers into their classrooms. Drewitcz Elementary was one of those schools, where readers included the mayor, deputy superintendent, local police and firefighters, and representatives from local businesses.
This is our kickoff to an entire month of celebrating reading. We have people from all over. We've found people that work all through our community of Lynn that have come to volunteer their time today to read to the kids and tell them about what kind of jobs they do. And we're having also a Read Our Shirt Day here, so everyone was to wear a shirt with something to read on it. And it kicks off different events that we'll do all through the month of March around reading.
The kids love it. It just reignites that whole wanting to read for pleasure, wanting to read for joy.
Yeah.
So it's really fun.
That's really our highlight, is they, mostly in school you're reading to learn something, and this is what we're really trying to highlight, reading for joy and just a love
Reading
of
for
reading.
pleasure.
Yes.
Yeah. We do this every year. This is the way we celebrate reading, and we want to spread the joy and the love of reading.
Yeah. Giving them that lifelong joy of reading. Reading is learning. Even if it's a pleasure book, you're always learning something while you read.
It just opens up a whole new world for them. All the genres of reading, informational, joy, fun, science, everything. And kids,
yeah. And especially here, it increases their vocabulary, which is something we focus so highly on in Lynn.
Sometimes help can occur at the most unexpected times. This was the case for a Lynn man who was walking his daughter to school when he alerted a woman living in a 2-story building that the upper floor was on fire, giving her time to escape before it spread. The man, Jamal Saleh, ran over from his car and began knocking, telling Ethel Malloy to get away from the danger. In the end, Malloy, her husband, and her cat all got out safely thanks to a Good Samaritan's quick thinking. The Lynn Fire Department responded to the 2-alarm fire and were able to knock it down. It originated in the attic, and there were working smoke detectors in the home, according to Fire Chief Dan Sullivan. At this time, there are no reported injuries, and the fire was under investigation as of the 4th. The Healey-Driscoll administration has announced the launch of a $20 million campaign to end veteran homelessness in Massachusetts. This is the largest targeted investment to combat veteran homelessness in state history and will act as a collaboration between federal, local, and veteran-serving organizations. Their priorities are supportive housing, access to behavioral health services, capital investment in veteran housing, and providing technical assistance. This will be tackled in a 5-prong approach: the HOPE campaign to directly engage with veterans and their families, empowering veteran service providers, creating an End Veteran Homelessness Advisory Committee, and aligning existing services with veteran housing goals. At this time, veterans account for about 3% of homeless individuals in the state, with the goal of this program being to get it down to functional zero, meaning a system where homelessness is rare, brief, and non-reoccurring. Lynn, Lowell, and New Bedford are all examples of this concept. The Real program is hosting their annual Free Little Library Crawl next weekend, but until then, enjoy a piece LCTV created on the libraries.
The city of Lynn is full of parks. Just like parks, Lynn is also full of little free libraries, some nestled in the corner of a neighborhood, and some there for all to see. You may have seen these while out and about and wondered, what are these little buildings? Within each lie various books of all types. Book lovers of all ages are encouraged to both take books to read, as well as share their own. And the reason Lynn has so many of these libraries is thanks to the work of Jan Plourde and the Real program. Jan sat down with us to discuss Real and the little free libraries.
I started the Real program in 2013. After seeing a focus on literacy was not there, I started it with a handful of people that joined our board. The issue here is one public library for 100,000 people is not a realistic resource for this many people, and especially people who come from places where they haven't had literacy.
The Real program welcomes local youth year-round.
Children are the biggest resource the city of Lynn has. We're just here helping to nourish that.
One of the youth sat down with us to discuss literacy, the Real program, and the little free libraries.
I like the Real program because I can interact with a lot of people, meet new friends, and I get to read, learn how to read, and I always have some playtime. I just think that Real's a blessing that I could know Jan, all the other people that come here. I don't know what it would be like if I didn't have these people by my side.
Jan believes that higher literacy rates can help solve some of the many issues facing Lynn's residents.
Literacy is what's going to help them get out of that same cycle of looking for the monthly need of shelter, food, and clothing. The most successful nations in the world, the most successful cities in the country, the most successful communities in our own state are people with high literacy rates. And that's what we're trying to do here.
With that mission in mind, the Real program have been busy building and installing little free libraries around Lynn, often with help from outside organizations such as Breckenridge Capital Advisors. Funding and supplies for the libraries have been mostly donated by individuals.
Todd Bohl is the founder of the Little Free Library Association out of Wisconsin. Now it is actually a worldwide movement, and we here in Lynn are trying to be known as the city of readers. The concept of the Little Free Library is take a book, leave a book. But here, people don't have books, and when they get books, they don't want to return them. Personally, I don't mind. I will just keep fighting books.
Reading's important in life. If you don't read, you can't do a lot of things. You can't succeed in life. If you know how to read, then you could go so far in life.
We have one in front of the Real program at 17 Atlantic Street. 4 times a week we fill the box. We have collected and distributed over 240,000 children's books since 2013 now.
As of the summer of 2023, there are approximately 70 free little libraries from the Real program, with the goal of getting at least 250. A full map can be found on the Real program website showing all of them.
The free little libraries are so good. The fact that there's just a little free library out in the street, if they can't afford anything, they could go and get a book. They'll learn how to read and maybe come back next time.
Children need literacy just like we need love. We can't define love, but we know when we have it and we know when we don't. And that's the same with literacy. People understand illiteracy is bad, but don't understand literacy is good.
From March 18th to the 29th, the City of Lynn is offering a discount for the curbside collection of bulk waste items. Residents can schedule the pickup of one bulk waste item for $15. Mattresses, appliances, and construction materials are some of the items that can be collected. Those on the Green Recycling Week can schedule an appointment during the week of March 18th through the 22nd. They must do so by 3 p.m. on March 14th. Residents on the Blue Recycling schedule have an opportunity the next week from the 25th to the 29th. They have until March 21st at 3 p.m. to schedule their pickups. Visit the Department of Public Works page for more information and call Waste Management if you have an item to be collected. Begun by 3 Lynners, the Lynn Disability Network has grown, most notably winning a $75,000 grant from the Northeast Arc's Arc Tank competition for their Linnebago project last December. The founders were on the Lowdown to discuss their mission, origins, and timeline of this ongoing project. Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on the 3 women behind the Lynn Disability Network. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
So I'm going to start off easy, simple question. So Lisa, we'll start with you. Just introduce yourselves and your title within the organization.
Sure. My name is Lisa, and I do operations and overall advocacy for Lynn Disability Network.
My name is Louise Dominique. I'm a founder of Lynn Disability Network.
I'm Maria Riley. I'm also an advocate and the event coordinator.
Great. So we'll just start off, for anyone who may not know, what is the goal or the mission of the Disability Network? Do you want to start with Louise?
So our goal is to become the city in Lynn, because what we're seeing in the city for the person with disability. So our goal is to make the city a place where everyone is included. Mm-hmm. This is our goal for the city.
And then how did you two get involved in it?
So I met Louise a little over 2 years ago, and she noticed that I also was having issues with finding programs and a community to come together with my children. At that time, I lived in Lynn for about 8 years, and we never went to any community events because we just felt like, my children and I felt like, not that we weren't accepted, but I felt like there wasn't how do I say, if they were having a sensory overload or something, there were nowhere to go besides the car. So I just chose to keep them home majority of the time.
Okay, yeah, I understand.
Yep. So after meeting Louise, we kind of put something together to help other parents come together.
And then I joined about a year ago. I became, my husband and I, we became a family during the pandemic to our son who was profoundly impacted by his physical disabilities. And we spent the first 3 years of his life in medical isolation because we had to. But I first met Louise because one of the first things that my family went to as a family unit was December 2022. There was a sensory-friendly family event at Lynn Disability Network, and we just got to talking, and it just became a fit that it was destined we were kind of to work together to make the community a better place for not just families with disabilities, but anyone with a disability, their caregivers, their loved ones, their friends, just kind of create more of a community within a community.
And you've mentioned it a little bit, but why is it so important to have these events where you do have the sensory-friendly areas, or you do have these things that others just may not think about if they're not confronted with it every day? What?
I think it's important because you want to have everyone feel included and important, just as anyone else coming to these events, community events, tree lighting events, places like that, where you do have sensory rooms and a sensible changing area to help everyone come together, not just those who can, but everyone together.
Yeah, and I think also for everybody else in the community, when you see things and learn about these things that, you consider, well, not everybody that goes to this festival can attend because there's no place for them to be properly changed. There's no place for them to address a sensory need, and it's not just for autism. It
No.
could be an older adult that has dementia. They should still enjoy, you know, a festival by the water. We just have to make sure that we have reasonable human-centric accommodations throughout the city for this full spectrum of humans.
Yeah, I agree, because this does happen to me sometimes when they have some activities I couldn't go because of meetings. So it's like overwhelming, so I don't have any place to go, so I have to stay home. I have to looking for the programs to go where I can find a place for him to be isolated from the, from the noise, from the crowd.
And one thing you did, which is incredible, you decided, well, we don't have a place, so we're going to make one.
Yeah, that's the reason.
I think that was the one thing that I mentioned when I joined with Luis is I went to one of the Northeast Arcs, and I said, we don't have any events happening. And they were like, what do you mean? We're having them. And I was like, but I'm just not seeing it. So I feel like the more we voice, the more people know. And we may be on our page a little in your face, you know, constantly promoting stuff, but it's just so people are aware and don't go unaware or find out last minute and then have to make arrangements. But I love everything that all the organizations do. We want to be part of it and be out loud and tell other parents, hey, we're here and we got you, we have your support, you have our support, let's work together.
And on that note, you did the Winnebago, which is a very big accomplishment. Do you want to explain a little bit what that is?
Sure. So back in October, Louise, Maria, and myself, we entered into this international disability innovation competition called the ARC Tank, which is put on by Northeast ARC. They're like a disability advocacy and human services agency, and they're all over the North Shore. And anyway, they host this competition every year, really to find like big, bold ideas and how you can change the world of advocacy. We came up with the idea of taking what we were already doing, which is we have a small sensory room and we have an adult-sized changing table that we bring out to events, but it's a lot of work. Yes. Like, how could we make this easier, but how could we also bring it to different areas of Lynn? So we came up with, like, we were joking, like, well, if we had $1 million, we could get a Winnebago. And then we were like, oh, the Winnebago, haha, but that was an idea.
Yeah.
And the more we talked about it, the more it made sense. And then, you know, the idea for the contest was announced, and we're like, well, we already have an idea. So we just took each of our different strengths, you know, with like planning and who do we know in the advocacy world. And, you know, I have a couple builders and architects in my family. So we came up with the design. I think there was like either something like 150 or 250 applicants worldwide. We were one of 7 finalists chosen. And then out of that 7, we were one of 3 to receive full funding.
Which is incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Like, I think, you can have good ideas no matter who you are. You know, we were up against big tech companies, and you know, one of the other winners was Johns Hopkins University School of Public Health. Like, these are big institutions, but you can.
You can't prove that wrong. You're like, yeah, you can.
Yeah, but we really can't say we competed because it was such a fun.
We actually had more fun. It was just the fact that we were nominated. I think that was the most exciting part, just to get.
We were like the Goodwill Huntings of the evening, basically. We won fan favorite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, number 1, right?
Fan favorite, and just to be there and be part of the whole event was just exciting to happen. But when we went, I think we were just all like
crazy.
In almost every photograph, you're smiling.
Oh,
and Marie and I are like,
I'm the crier of the group.
But yeah, so what we won was a $75,000 grant to bring this design to life. So what the design actually is, which is probably important to talk about, is the trailer itself is 1/2 sensory room, which means comfortable seating. It can accommodate wheelchairs. It can accommodate different surfaces. But it's basically an interior, low lit kind of vibey room that you can just come down and take a minute.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just people with intellectual or developmental differences that can benefit. It's just such a good resource. Like, everyone sometimes needs a timeout.
Yeah.
Having one of these facilities at an event might allow a family to stay an extra 10 minutes. It might allow a family just to show up. And sometimes that's the goal when you have a family where someone in the family has, you know, a disability that profoundly impacts them. So the other big design piece is that in the other half of the trailer is a universally designed accommodating bathroom, meaning it has a regular toilet, it has an ADA grade sink, running water, but it also has a power height adjustable changing table. So anyone of any size or age with any level of mobility, if they need to meet their toileting needs, where they're out enjoying the different things that Lynn has to offer, guess what? They don't have to stay at home. They don't have to worry about that. They don't have to think about how far away can I park if I have to go, because I have to go change in the car. Like, these are things that the average family probably doesn't think about until someone in their family becomes disabled.
Yeah.
So,
And it is wheelchair accessible and
fully ramp accessible. It's heated, it's air conditioned.
yes.
It will have an awning. It will.
And it will
gonna be
have
awesome.
the braille for anyone that has
braille signs, sign language graphics, and it will have in each segment of it on the outside, in each interior room, it will have the augmentative communication panels. The little, they're kind of an internationally known like little rubric of pictures that nonverbal folks often use in speech therapy. So no matter where you are, you have a place to cool down, a place to address your needs, your physical needs, and then also a way to communicate effectively in the community.
Definitely. And I said, oh, that sounds amazing. And I do have to wrap up in one moment, but one other thing you wanted to mention too is if anyone wants to make donations, you now have a live link for that as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Right on our Facebook page, there's a link to donate. And I think we're going to put one soon for if anybody wants to donate to the Winnebago.
Yes. Okay. So the link that's on Facebook right now is specifically for like our ground operation in Lynn.
Okay.
We'll have a link specifically for Winnebago through Northeast Arc to crowdfund to finish the project off.
I said, that all sounds so incredible, so amazing, and I do have to now wrap up, even though I'm sure we could talk about this for so much longer, which is amazing. But thank you again for sharing this idea and just all you're doing for the community.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You're very welcome anytime. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. At the buzzer, the sports update. Despite winning 15 games in the regular season and clinching the 10th spot, St. Mary's boys were upset by number 23 Dover Sherborne 47-46 at home. With just over 3 minutes remaining, the visitors were up 45-37. The Spartans took a shot at the win, but a running layup by J.J. Martinez with 5 seconds remaining was no good. The Lynn Tech girls hit a wall up against first-ranked Cathedral, losing 100-33 on the road in a Division IV matchup. The 33rd-seeded Tigers finished the year 14-7, upsetting Cape Cod RVT last week to make it this far. Their boys team is still going strong, advancing to the Elite Eight off a 55-50 victory over Northridge and a 60-56 beating of Georgetown on the 6th. Against Northridge, it was not quite how they drew it up, with Tech down by 19 going into the half and needing a big-time comeback. And that's exactly what they got, going on a 13-0 run to begin the third, led by senior Jaden Welch, who scored 16 of his 26 in that period. Down by 7 in the fourth, Giovanni Jean and Welch rose to the occasion, scoring all of Tech's 15 points and delivering at the free throw line. The Tigers had the school shaking against Georgetown, where the largest lead for either team all night was 7 points. Tied with 4 minutes remaining, Cesar Reyes hit a heavily contested layup, followed by a corner three from Welch for a 54-49 advantage. Tech had 2 late turnovers, but sophomore Travis Sanchez stepped up, burying 4 free throws, which would prove to be the difference in the game. Going for their 4th consecutive title, St. Mary's girls basketball continues to advance, clinching their trip to the Elite Eight after beating Appoquinimink Regional 68-40 at home. The visitors came to play, boosting a 20-win record and scoring first to open the game. But the Spartans were ready. Beating Dedham last week, they continued their momentum, going on a 20-7 run in the second quarter. The third was much of the same as they hit back-to-back-to-back triples. In the fourth, Jillian Roberts added a trio of triples herself to shut the door on the Lakers. The next round will feature the 5th-seeded Spartans at number 4, Hanover. In hockey, the Spartan girls have punched their ticket to the Final Four in a rematch with Shrewsbury, who defeated St. Mary's last season in the title game. This time it was the Spartans who came out on top 2-1. Scoreless in the second, Gianna Triangle made the save of the night, blocking a backdoor shot by the Colonels. St. Mary's scored first, but Shrewsbury evened the score at 1 in the final period. Then who else but the Catholic Central League MVP Bella Freitas netted the game winner on a power play, fitting a backhanded shot between the goalie's glove and upper post with 3.5 minutes to go in the game. The Celtics have broken another milestone, becoming the first team in NBA history to win 3 games by 50-plus points in a single season. On top of winning their 11th straight contest, a 140-88 pounding of the Golden State Warriors. Their entire roster scored at least a basket, as 5 Celtics recorded double-digit nights. Al Horford only recorded 7 points, but it was enough to put him over the top to join the 14,000 points club. They ended the week on a low note, dropping 2 consecutive games, 105-104 to the Cleveland Cavaliers and 115-109 to the defending champion Denver Nuggets. The Bruins are trying to get back on track, but it's up and down. They've gone 3-2 in the past 5 games, most recently beating the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-1, losing to the Oilers 2-1 in overtime, and beating the Leafs again by a score of 4-1 on the 7th for their 20th home win this season. The Mass Senior Action Council visited the State House on Elder Lobby Day, advocating for the rights of seniors. Specifically focused on the Medicare Savings Program and Mass Health policies they believe need to be updated. Here is more of what they had to say on the Lowdown. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we have on 3 members from Mass Senior Action Council. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So first, would you mind introducing yourselves, please? Your names?
I'm Debbie Craig.
My name is Griceldis.
And mine is Ruth.
Great. So could you first tell me kind of what you enjoy about Mass Senior Action Council, what you like?
Okay.
Okay, you begin, Debbie.
So the things that I enjoy most about Mass Senior Action is being able to get involved with the needs of people, and people who especially can't help themselves. They don't have as much of a voice. That's what I enjoy most.
Great.
And what do you want to say?
Ok, me gusta más Senior Action porque es un grupo activo y eficaz, compuesto y dirigido por personas mayores, reconocido en el estado de Massachusetts, que lucha por la justicia social, económica y sanitaria de todos los adultos mayores, abogando por la igualdad y la estabilidad emocional.
Okay. I have to say what she said, and I have to read it. Because she says that it's an active group and very efficient. Mm-hmm. It's led by people that are seniors, and they are recognized by Massachusetts. It's recognized. Mm-hmm. And it does struggle for justice, social justice, and that all the seniors have a better quality of life.
Great.
Okay. I like Mass Senior Action because it's a space where we can raise our voice and all the issues we have, healthcare, housing, social representation. And I'm very proud to be part of that organization that promotes civic engagement and empowers senior citizens.
Awesome. And you all recently went to the State House. So why were you participating in the State House Advocacy Day?
Yo fui para respaldar y apoyar la solicitud ante la Cámara de Representantes de la dignidad, justicia y hacerles entender que los adultos mayores somos merecedores de lo mejor, de lo mejor.
Okay. She went to support the solicitude we had with the, how could I say, with the politicians that were there. And that made us, that the dignity and justice to make them understand that the seniors deserve the best. Okay. I was really excited to participate in the Advocacy Day. It was my first time entering to the State House and meeting directly with our representatives and senators to hear our concerns. I am a newcomer in this country, immigrating from a country that is under a dictatorship. So my voice was silenced all these years, 60 years at least, that it's a lot. And it was a huge moment for me. I was impressed to see how democracy worked firsthand and the importance of activism.
What I enjoyed most about going to the State House was that I realized that there were so many people other than just Mass Senior Action that were fighting for rights of seniors. We had AARP there, we had advocacies for health care there. All of our local state reps were there to support us, and we're very happy to be there, and we're very encouraging on supporting us in the two bills we were there to lobby for.
And can you talk a little bit about the two bills that you were lobbying for? Just a brief overview.
Well, David can talk better than us because
so the bill that I'll talk about is that for mass health, and the last time that they changed the qualifications and asset qualifications was in 1989. And what we went to lobby for was the fact that they needed to change this. They also count life insurance policies. If somebody has a $2,000 life insurance policy, they can't qualify for mass health. So what we are lobbying for is for the state to change it so that they raise the asset qualifications to $10,000.
Which seems very reasonable, all things considered.
Yes, it does.
Yes. And in my case, all those things are new for me, you know? All those things are new for me. So I wanted to see, like I said, at first hand how it worked. How was democracy. I didn't understand before how it was, and it was so impressive, so impressive for me.
I'm always really glad to hear that. And do you think that it was successful? Would you call it a successful day?
¿Fue un éxito? Ok. Para mí sí fue un éxito. Se proporcionó una voz colectiva, se abordaron las preocupaciones de las personas mayores y deshabilitadas sobre la calidad de vida, atención médica, vivienda, seguridad, igualdad y dignidad.
Okay. She says that it was really a success because all the concerns the seniors had were put in the table there, and we were heard. Quality of life, medical attention, housing, security, equitness, and dignity.
All very important aspects,
yes.
Of course. You've touched on it a little, but why do you think, people, the power of people is so important in cases like this?
The power, I think, becomes with the union. Everybody's united. I felt so touched because when I got in, sisters sit here, they had never seen me before. but we were together asking for the same things, you know? We were together, and I felt that like if it was siblings. Oh, that was so nice, so nice. I was really, really impressed. And to be in a building that had so much history, you know? It was amazing.
And what about for you two? Same question.
I'm sorry, I forgot the question, Dan.
It
I was listening to her answer, I forgot.
Why is the people having power in this so important, the people power?
Well, I think that if you're alone, you feel like you can't do anything. It's always greater to have people standing by you and letting you know that they support you and they have the same concerns and the same interests, and they're all fighting for the same things. And that's what this Senior Lobby Day was at the State House. It was people from all over the state getting together, doing the same thing for the seniors.
Ok, ¿por qué es importante el poder de las masas? Porque cuando todos nos unimos para expresar nuestros intereses y demandas por un bien común, somos más fuertes y podemos llegar a influir en nuestros representantes, senadores, para que impulsen leyes que genuinamente beneficien a los electores.
Okay, it's important that we get together to express our interest and demands, because it's for each one of the seniors. We are stronger, and this way we can get the politicians to hear what we are saying. It's not one person nor two persons. There we were almost 300 persons asking for the same thing: equality, health, and all those other things that we needed. And that way they are going to think over, when they get together, about us in some way.
Giving a voice, or in this case, many voices.
Yes, many voices.
To what you're going.
Many voices.
And I will have to wrap up in one moment, but was there anything else you wanted to say to end up this interview?
I would just like to say that I think anybody would enjoy this experience and feel like they were getting something really positive and worthwhile out of it. And I would just like to invite everyone to join us at our Mass Senior Action meetings. They're the third Wednesday of the month at Church Street, at the Wall Street building, and everybody is welcome. And the more voices we have, the more power we have.
It's really like that. That's why I joined it. And we are the chapter, the biggest chapter, the North Shore.
Yes, you are, with about 280 members.
Yes.
Correct, yes.
And we would like more people to join us and see all the good things that can be done.
Yes.
You're already doing such amazing work that you could see.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, loud and proud, and thank you for coming on to talk about some of that.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Anytime. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests. Now the community calendar. Go to a comedy and pizza fundraiser to have some laughs and support the Lynn Veterans Council on Sunday, March 10th at 6 p.m. Hosted by Prince Pizzeria in Saugus, admission is $30 per person and includes a comedy show and cheese pizza. 100% of the proceeds go towards the Council's future initiatives, including the building of Lynn Veterans Memorial Park and a 9/11 25-year anniversary parade in 2026. The Opioid Working Group / Abatement Fund Advisory Committee is holding a community forum on Wednesday, March 13th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Lynn Museum. The purpose of which is to gather public input to advise how the city should prioritize state opioid abatement funds. Refreshments will be provided. Brightview Health's Addiction Treatment Center is inviting the community to learn more about outpatient addiction treatment at their open house Thursday, March 14th from 3 to 6 p.m. Located at 110 Monroe Street, the community can tour the facility and learn more about Brightview and make contributions to recovery in Lynn. There will also be an opportunity to talk to their community outreach manager about questions surrounding addiction. With that, we have reached the end of the news for this week. Keep up with press releases and breaking news by following Lynn Community Television on social media. Access all our videos and member content for free on our website, lyntv.org. And visit Lynn Community Television on YouTube for interviews, talk shows, and more. I'm Danny Vittori, this is LCTV News, and we will see you next week.
This episode of the LCTV News is brought to you by Encompass Health, North Shore Community College, Leo Inc., and Brotherhood Credit Union.